Yo, welcome back, YouTube family. We're back with another one. Let's get right to it. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you want to see more videos just like this.
I really don't think that the next couple days is going to be what we're really expecting it to be. Now, let's be honest. This whole thing right now is just a whole different new scenario. When you look at it from both sides, you feel me? It almost just feels like we're doomed regardless. This is not me just throwing shade or nothing like that, y'all. This is just how I really feel. What my intuition really been telling me lately is I feel like we're about to go through another 2020 event, bro. This is just my personal opinion, you feel me? I think that there's way more variables to this play than y'all even can see. That I can see all of us, you feel me? Just look at all the events that have been leading up to now, yo. Something just isn't sitting right in my soul with this shit, man. I don't know how y'all feel. Let me know, you feel me? Oh my God!
What if I told you that everything you're seeing today, mostly, everything, the energy, was all predicted? The ones who told the story were the clearest were the astronomers, the Maya. But so many indigenous knew of this time and said it was coming and that it would be a decision point for humanity. And that's why this is happening. This is a time that is astronomically correct. It has nothing to do with religion or belief systems or the new age or an old age. Things that you were told, well, this is the way it is, are not the way it is anymore.
So, like, why is nobody talking about the man who was found hung in Alabama after he filed a lawsuit against a local police department? And yes, he was black. He was found in an abandoned house, hung, and they tried to say he committed suicide, and his wife said, hell no. He doesn't even know where that abandoned house is, and he wasn't local to the area where he was found in the house. What makes it so sinister is allegedly before he was found unalived in an abandoned house, they fucking have a report of him suing the local police department for using unlawful force against him, and not even a couple, months later, he's unalived? And it's to the point now where even local sheriffs are asking the FBI to investigate the death of, that black man that was found hanging in Alabama. Of course, it's Montgomery, Alabama. It says the FBI is investigating the death of a black man in Alabama who was found hanging in an abandoned house following a request from a local sheriff amid fears among community members who accuse local law enforcement of long-standing unchecked misconduct in the community, I'm assuming. They found 39-year-old Denoris Richardson in September in a rural part of Colbert County that is just approximately 10,000 people. She is saying that her husband's death was related to a lawsuit that he filed against the local police department back in February. Denoris, who is the unalived black male, coached kids in basketball and football, and he was allegedly assaulted, was denied medical attention by their police department, and sprayed with tear gas and shocked with a taser while he was in jail. No, seriously, the FBI and everybody needs to be in on this right now. We need to get his story out now.
There's a lot going on out here right now.
Yo, so just the other day I made a video asking about where she's been. Do you guys see this? This is her Halloween costume this year. I was, people say that you can't say too much. They might, take it down or whatever. I wonder why. But I just want you to look at her costume, guys. And remember what's going on right now. Okay? 2024. Do you guys see this? Do you guys see this? You guys already know what I'm thinking. You already know what I'm thinking. What the... Yo. What the... I'm not saying too much. I'm not saying too many names. You guys know what I think this looks like. I'm not going to say it. I don't want to take my video down. But you guys know, really?
Now, let's be realistic, man. That looks too real. That's not an alligator or albino alligator or crocodile, whatever you want to call it, because it don't have a snout. Could that be her true form? All the videos that, the conspiracy videos about these reptilian beings and this elites or celebrities and all that have been out and that we have reviewed together, and that I'm pretty sure you watch on other channels or probably heard of yourself. If that isn't a good representation of one in real life, man, then I don't know what is. Because let me know what you think about that in the comment section. That's too real, man. Too real. Too detailed for me to believe that that was fake.
Okay, this the news lady. Look at her eyes. I feel like her eyes open. I don't know.
Watch.
Dude, did y'all just see that?
Watch the blink. Now just take the next picture. That's her. Not her eyes blinked.
Dude,
Her eye blinked, and that's how.
Do y'all
she
think
blinked.
her eyes blink or just another set of eyes?
They gotta pause it. When she blink, you gotta pause it and see
I'm
it.
finna see it again.
You can do it on your phone.
I'm
Replay
recording it. Dude, what's that?
Kind of reminds you of the LeBron James situation during the Olympics, don't it? They tell you it was some type of glitch and this and that. Hey, man, believe what you want. But like I always tell y'all, use discernment when you watch these videos and never believe what you hear or see in these videos or what I see in these videos. Do your own research.
So allegedly, Mr. Beast has just been reported to the FBI. They said they have found CP on his phone, conversations with minors, and mentions of cannibalism. I'm not even surprised at this point. I really feel like this is the year of exposure, like Cat Williams said. You can't trust anybody.
Think about it.
The whole Orlando Brown and Ray J interview, since we all talking about it, y'all say they're speaking in codes. I don't get this. When he throated the mic, that wasn't just for giggles. That was also another code in front of Ray J. That's why Ray J went on the live with Nicki Minaj and said he was a barb. Like, the fact no one's catching this, y'all giggling at the baby oil with Diddy. Y'all giggling at Orlando Brown, throating the microphone in front of Ray J. Like, how are you not getting this? How old are y'all? Like, child, this is crazy. The fact I gotta break this down. Hey, you're welcome. I know it's a lot. Like, come on. Orlando Brown do a lot of wild things, but when's the last time you seen something wild as that? He do something wild as that.
She handled him too.
Who is your God?
All things are centered around us is God, right? Everything is the higher power. So it's just about the higher power. That's all. It's about because I'm not a human. I'm a manifest sapien.
Manifest avian your ass the fuck up off my motherfucking phone. Cause every time I ask you a question,
I said who is my God, and I said all gods is God. So I'm not human. I'm more alien. I'm gonna keep it real.
were you raised in church?
Yes.
You didn't enjoy it?
I hated it. Period blood.
I know you're not playing about the blood of Jesus.
No, I mean period blood.
What blood?
It came out period blood.
What blood?
Period blood and period blood.
Oh, right.
Things, so.
I got that.
Right, I was like, it was just,
right. Whoa.
I know.
Have the feds been in contact with you?
Now, on that conversation, you got to read between the lines. If you can't read between the lines and know that it was much deeper than what they was really talking about, what she was saying was much deeper than what a lot of people would understand on the surface level, then, man, that's all on you, man. You know what I'm saying? But y'all go check out the full clip on YouTube, man. It's definitely something to hear.
They told me they were making a hybrid race.
And for what?
They didn't want. I wanted to know for what, but they never gave an inkling of what it was for, or what this hybrid race would be doing, where it would be, or what. My grandfather died in 1940, so this was in the 1930s when these things were happening with them. She said they would be sitting on the side porch at night, and they would see lights over the oil wells, and a lot of times they would see what they thought were little children dressed in white running around the oil wells. And on several times they saw it in the daytime. They would see these little children dressed in white, and once or twice they got up to go see if they could catch the little children and find out who they were, and they would start out, but by the time they would get there, the children would be gone. The main concept was creating a hybrid breed. At least that's what they told me, that they were trying to create a race of people that could live in our atmosphere and in their atmosphere. And they had not yet produced that person. Now, on another occasion, I remembered being shown a baby that really favored my grandson a lot. If you would, give it the slant eyes, they weren't as big as their eyes, but it looked human. And I knew that this was my child, and I wanted to take that child with me, but they said that it would not be able to live in this atmosphere. It's not really a frightening experience. It's just, it happens, and it doesn't leave you frightened. I think the thing that frightened me the most was that I was not consciously aware of what had happened, and I did not know what to put these ships with. I didn't have anything concrete to say, well, they're coming to do this or that. I just had the frightening feeling. And after I found out what had happened, I was at peace with what had happened, knowing that there's nothing that I can do about it, because I cannot stop them. Nobody can stop them from doing what they want to do. Nobody on this earth, because they are too far advanced mentally and technologically for, we don't have a defense at all.
Yeah, it's like they do magic.
Yeah, they could come in today and take over if that was their desire. But like I said, I don't feel that it's their desire to take over through violence, and they don't care about governments. See, government control is not their thing. They want bodies, and they want minds that are going to do what they want the minds to do, but they need the bodies to do whatever it is with. And that's where we come in.
Makes sense, huh? I know. If you know, you know. It kind of remind you of that old costume, huh? That old costume of old Kim K at the beginning. Yep.
Yesterday I was telling y'all about how this young lady that my wife has been witnessing to has been trying to, she ain't been trying, she has been astral projecting into our house. And just on, what was that, Tuesday morning, I just so happened to catch people without a spiritual sense of mind will look at this and say, this dude is just crazy. He's always talking about seeing spirits and seeing shadows. If you have never experienced anything in the spiritual realm, the most likely thing is that you just don't understand the spiritual realm. You don't understand that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, and that the reason why you're dealing with so much trauma and so much depression in your life is not because you're just doing bad things. It's because you have spiritual attachments to you. But I digress. This young lady has been using whatever types of craft she used to enter our home, to make us feel bad, to make us depressed. It was just always in the back of my mind, like, maybe this is what's going on. But on yesterday, it was confirmed. As I was just talking to God yesterday, he said, you missed all the signs. Like, you got to be more prepared than this. Like, you know what this stuff is, and you've experienced it before. You missed all the signs. I completely dropped the ball on this because I just ignored everything that I saw. And I was just thinking, okay, this is just abnormal, but I mean, I don't think there's anything behind it. One of which being animals or bugs always trying to get into our house in the weirdest way. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's something called spiritual monitoring, where these witches or people who use witchcraft, they can use animals, they can use bugs to enter your house and monitor what's going on in your house so they can better plan how to attack you. Or they could just be used to just throw you off your game, to make you feel weird throughout it. Seeing spiders, flies, ants in your house, stuff like that, lizards, those all can be used for spiritual monitoring. which brings me to my next point, why I'm even talking about this. That Monday night before we went to bed, I was outside doing something for my wife, and when I came back in, from the small amount of time, maybe like 15 seconds that I walked outside and I came back in, my wife was holding my daughter and she was panicked, saying, Meech, I need you to hurry up. There's a spider right there on the floor and it's huge. And all I'm thinking is, how in the heck, I was just in the kitchen, how did a spider get there that quick from the 15 seconds that I was outside? Now, one thing about me, I'm not scared of bugs or anything like that. I just don't like I have a sensory problem. I don't like the crunch that bugs make when I try to kill them. So I grabbed the broom and I grabbed the dustpan. I was just about to sweep it up and toss it outside like I do in any other situation. But when I went to do that, it's like the spider knew what I was about to do with this broom, and it like flattened out like it was getting into attack mode. And I tried to keep my calm, but my wife reacted and she was like, oh, why did it do that? And I'm trying to be calm and level-headed and trying to keep her calm. But I'm also just like, I really don't know. It was almost as if the spider just had some type of knowledge that I was about to get rid of it. So just as soon as that happened, after it flattened out and like went into attack mode, it sprinted right towards me, and without a second thought, I stepped on it. It's like my sensory issue went out the door. Forget this, you gotta die today. But I can't help but wonder, and it's still stuck in my mind, what's that spider being used as the vessel to enter into our home? Let me explain that, because see, you might be thinking like, okay, well, we know that people might be able to get possessed, but animals, come on, really not me? Let me take you back to the Garden of Eden. How do you think that a serpent was able to talk to Eve? I'll wait. If animals cannot be possessed, tell me, how did that happen? In fact, animals can be used by the enemy to infiltrate spaces where they would otherwise not be able to get into. Hence, Garden of Eden. Hence, your home. Hence, your car. The enemy will use any living vessels that it can to infiltrate your space. Just this morning, I prayed heavily over my dog because it looked like something was wrong with him, like something has been bothering him. And usually when I pet my dog, he gets very excited. He can't control himself, so he's just like wagging his tail and all that stuff. But this time, he's just laying on the ground peacefully, and I got my hands full of anointed oil, and I'm just rubbing it across his head and praying for him, and he's looking me straight in my eyes, almost as if to say, thank you for finally praying for me, finally anointing me, finally casting out whatever this thing that is that has been tormenting me. It's almost like he was saying thank you. To wrap this up, I'm letting y'all know there are such things as monitoring spirits. You need to pray over your home, pray over your pets, pray over anyone who enters into your house, because you don't know what spirits they might be bringing and leaving in your house when they come. Y'all stay prayed up out here, man.
Whew, for sure.
Look right here. Dang, does that look familiar? What is it, Gravity Falls? Uh-oh. Are the pyramids some sort of long-lost high technology? Yeah, they actually are, though, and I'm not even remotely making that up. Let me go ahead and cite my source up front. Electromagnetic properties of pyramids from positions of photonics. I can tell you with solid confidence that the layout of these pyramids is no accident. We know this by now, don't we? Why would they go through all that trouble to line these up like the stars? Is there a reason? Yeah, they were just ignorant. What? Poor stupid fellas didn't know what the stars were, so they worshipped them. Arranging atoms into pyramid shapes can potentially create unique electromagnetic field patterns due to the way the pyramid geometry interacts with and focuses electromagnetic radiation. Effectively concentrating energy towards the apex of the pyramid, which could have applications in fields like nanotechnology and quantum computing. The pyramid shape. Key points about pyramid-shaped atomic arrangements and electromagnetic fields. The pyramid shape acts as a natural antenna for electromagnetic waves, causing them to converge and intensify at the apex, creating a localized high-energy region. Which is why, being built in the shape of a pyramid, these buildings right here suck ions out of the ionosphere, leaving plasma in their wake. That space has got to be filled with something. Self-organizing plasmoids is what replaces the ions when the pyramids do this? What are you guys talking about in 2024? Self-organizing toroidal plasmoids. It's getting weird now, fellas, ain't it? A new life form, potentially, that lives in the sky. Okay. Consequently, they have had to admit openly to the ether that Tesla kept going on about sucking electricity out of the air. Ethereal. It's there. And a long time ago, somebody knew how to use it. I am not denying water pumps. Oh, they was just utilitarian. They were using water pumps. Do you know what pumping water would add to this equation? I've gone through great lengths to tell you about what metabolisms are and how buildings can become bodies if they have metabolisms, artificial bodies. Like in Jerusalem, you have the house of God. God's house that they built for him. to dwell in on the earth, not knowing he was going to manifest in the flesh and be made in the likeness of men, and that would be his temple. He tried to tell him, though. He let him find out. Were these buildings burial chambers for pharaohs? No. But they were surely trying to use them to live forever. Look how long the building has lasted. See? Get it? Look, transhumanism is like a major focus of billionaires in technology. They want to figure out some way that they can live forever on the earth. The big idea is to transfer their consciousness to a computer, but they're also working on ways to just make the brain live forever in the machine. I'm not making that up, man. That is a major focus of scientific study and innovation right now. Starts with like Neuralink. The big fear here is that if we don't connect ourselves to the artificial intelligence immediately, they will be our gods and eradicate us off the face of the earth. And those aren't my words. They're the people that are making these things and work on this. That's what they say. Oh, we're going to go ahead and do it anyway, but like we got to make sure we merge with it immediately, because when it realizes that we are far inferior, how could we ever be far inferior to something that we made with our own hands? It's because the souls that are going to inhabit these bodies, in the same way that God can dwell in his house on the earth, what about the souls of angels that get thrown down to the earth from heaven here in the future? Anyway, we're talking about the pyramids. Back to that. Look right here. Dang, does that look familiar? What is it? Gravity Falls? Uh-oh. This is the distribution of field intensity for the pyramid in the receiving antenna mode. You can pause and read all that. I'm not gonna. From physics.org, study reveals the Great Pyramid of Giza can focus electromagnetic energy. Wouldn't you know? Propagation of electromagnetic waves inside the pyramids of Chepos at different lengths of radio waves. Where do you think they got the idea to arrange atoms into the shape of pyramids? To create the electromagnetic fields. To use in the nanophotonics, the quantum computing, and sensors. When atoms are arranged in a pyramid structure, their electromagnetic fields interact with each other in a specific way, leading to a collective response to incoming radiation. Which is why I say so confidently, these pyramids are arranged in this specific pattern for a very specific reason. This was no guess or accident. This does something real even today when it's no longer in use. No pumps pumping water anywhere. These buildings are still alive, doing real stuff. Self-organizing toroidal plasmoids in the upper ionosphere, I told you. Imagine if they got them up and run them, turned them back on. What could they do? What were they for? I can't tell you. I know that the dudes that came later were trying to use them to live forever, but those are the dudes that came later who didn't know what they were for. These are houses or bodies for gods from the heavens. Is that not the understanding that they've proclaimed with their own mouths from antiquity? As a matter of fact, it actually is. Houses for gods, bodies for them to dwell in. Bodies need metabolisms. Do these bodies have metabolisms? They most certainly did at some point. Man-made? Okay. Man-made. Okay. What does he metabolize? Coal, mostly. They got to plug him in to charge him up. He doesn't have a full... It's not ready. This is primitive. It's not ready yet. Give this 10 years, you won't even be able to tell it's a robot. You ever seen Blade Runner? Replicants? That's what this is headed towards. Human brain organoids in the head there to process all the data at 1/100th of the cost of electricity is plugging it in and using coal to do it. And when you've got the energy consumption down to 100th of what it is currently, why, you could probably put a metabolism in that belly right there, and they will. The Japanese are already growing these things, human skin suits. Human skin suits, yeah. Just wait, not very long either. The movies in our popular culture were all blatant foreshadowing. You thought they were making all that up. You thought. They weren't. Here it is. Now, what I don't want to do, I don't want to do something like speculate, where I say, could it be that the demons, let me clarify who the demons are. Remember I said that in the future, angels are going to get thrown down from heaven. Well, in the days of Noah, angels quit heaven to come to earth, to mate with women, to be the gods, the Anunnaki. They had offspring, filled the world with their offspring. Unclean spirits, spirits that are born on earth and not from heaven. God said no to that, flooded the earth, killed all their offspring in the flood, bound the souls of those angels who abandoned their first estate, abandoned their heavenly bodies to come down and have bodies on earth. He bound their souls and threw them in hell. All the humans who died in the flood, their souls went to hell and they're not strong enough to get out. But the unclean spirits are neither bound in hell, neither are they humans. They are unclean spirits born on the earth. And so they climb all the way out, and who knows what kind of shenanigans they can even get into after that. I know that they're real concerned with bodies all throughout the New Testament in the Bible. Remember that scene where Jesus cast legion out of that man, and they beg him not to send them back to the abyss, the abyssal zones being cracks that lead all the way into hell. Nah, he let them go into those pigs instead. And we ain't even talking about angels that were born in heaven that are going to get thrown to the earth in the future for that robot apocalypse that's been foreshadowed in all our imaginations. The Matrix? The Singularity? The Mark of the Beast? Is it Neuralink? Not yet. Primitive. It's all primitive yet. Experimenting, working it out, getting it ready, finding out. I've gone to great lengths to prove to you that there is one story repeating in history over and over and over in every place. Yes, sometimes it overlaps here and there between places, as it would ripples in a pond. When people collectively worship, well, that's definitely a transfer of energy, without a doubt. Waves and vibes and frequencies, man. It has to be so. By everything we already know, even in our ignorance. God says a whole lot about it, actually. Worship. He gave real specific instructions for how this all had to go down here. Because this is higher than the highest technology on Earth. And even then, they failed. But God didn't. He got it done himself. Don't worry. That's why Jesus specifically is the door. You have to enter through him. There's no other way. He had to do it himself. But that does not mean that they're not going to try this again. They are. And this machine right here requires blood sacrifice. In the last age, that was animals. In this age, well, the Gentiles are swine, aren't they? The war on the saints, the tribulation, great and terrible sacrifice and oblation of swine's flesh. Anyway, the point of this video is that the pyramids are technology nigh into quantum computing on a much grander scale, worldwide, using the ether. And maybe this explains the aliens being demons too, using this technology that they know about because this was from their time specifically, to make themselves little bodies in the sky. Aliens? UFOs? Self-organizing plasmoids. Demons. Maybe.
Banger. I ain't gonna lie, y'all go follow him on TikTok, man. That was a banger, man. That's some information for your age. I'm talking about some stuff that you probably ain't know, some stuff that I didn't know, but it's very interesting. I ain't gonna lie, he sparked interest in me with that video. For sure, for sure.
The gods from all the ancient mythologies are real. To be sure, the mythologies of the world show a shared common history. And the gods were real, they existed. Who were they? You can say they were aliens, they weren't born here. The demigods, however, were born on Earth. What am I talking about? Where are they from? Space, more appropriately called heaven. The gods from the ancient pantheons, I mean the main gods, not the demigods, are these fellas right here, not that one. Why are the planets in our solar system named after the gods? Because these are their celestial bodies, their immortal celestial bodies. I'm not being funny, man. This is dead literal. Well, the Book of Enoch named 200 angels, you might say. Have you counted all their moons, bro? So wait, I thought you said aliens, though. I thought you said these guys were aliens from outer space. Hold on. Yes, the aliens. None of these planets were born on Earth. Get it? They're all from heaven, do you see? They were all born in heaven. I'm not being funny. Look, the Fermi paradox says that space should be teeming with life. According to the laws of physics, it should be everywhere. We should be talking to aliens all over the place. Why aren't we? There isn't any life and there are no aliens, the Fermi paradox says. Paradoxically. Don't be a fool. Look at all the aliens in space, fam. There they all are. Easily seen, clear and present with us today. The stars are the super advanced, hyper-conscious, immortal celestial entities in space, the ETs, the extraterrestrials. The stars themselves are alive. The stars all have names. They all have jobs to do in reality here. These fellas right here, not being symbolic, not being metaphorical, These fellas right here reign over the earth with God. As real as you can imagine, get a good look at your forces of nature. Why would the forces of nature be personified? Because they have personalities. Now I'm going to be as clear as a bell. Planet means wandering star. If you'll notice, these fellas right here are just as bright in the night sky as all the rest of the stars. How could that be? Put your hand down, NASA. I'm giving this lecture. Wandering stars, they're called this because of the patterns that they make in the sky that are very different from all the rest of the stars moving in unison. They all dance to a seemingly different tune than the rest of the stars in the night sky, tracing out patterns of sacred geometry throughout the year. Now I'm talking about by way of astrophysics, if you must. Behold the antediluvian forces of nature. How are the planets the forces of nature on Earth, though? That doesn't make sense. Yes, it does. It's in the math. In the same way that the solar system is the same relative structure as the atom, and every part and piece and subatomic particle in the atom is vitally important to the functioning of the atom, all parts affecting one another, so it is the same relatively in the solar system. The spinning and whirling around ain't just for nothing, it's for everything. I've shown you how sacred geometry, the same patterns these planets, these wandering stars, trace out in the night sky throughout the years. One of those spirograph things, you draw complex geometric shapes, 3D shapes with your 2D paper and your pen and your spirograph. Just as the planets trace out sacred geometry in the sky, sacred geometry is also cell division. It's also particle oscillations. It's also atomic orbitals. That's why I call it relative. There's the same relative structures. They're all doing that specifically, that orbitals thing, that cell division thing, that sacred geometry thing. What's doing that? Everything is doing the sacred geometry thing. And it all works together. Now I know NASA wants you to believe that these are just dead rocks. And the truth behind that is, while these bodies are celestial and immortal, they are floating around up there without souls. Why? What happened to the souls of these immortal, celestial, super advanced ETs? They came down to Earth in the days of Noah. They saw women down here and they were like, look at that. Let's go down there and make wives of them. You see, these fellas neither marry nor are they given in marriage. They're all the lowercase s sons of God. The gods, lowercase g. Angels, you see. Aliens? No, angels. Okay? That's what I've been talking about this whole time. Angels, this isn't space, it's heaven, the second heaven. You can't see the third heaven, paradise, where the throne of God is. We can see and know the first heaven, it's the sky. The second heaven is this thing NASA calls space. And above that is the dark matter, paradise, the third heaven. We can't see or know the dark matter, but we can see what it does in the cosmic dance. It's absolutely reliant on that dark matter and energy that makes up 95% of the known universe. Can't see it, can't measure it. How do we know it? Oh, it affects everything. How dependent is reality on the dark matter and energy? Entirely. Without it, we would not exist at all. This is a top-down scenario, you know. But the stars are the angels that we can see. They definitely reign over the earth, and I mean do stuff mechanically. Even on the smallest levels you can't even imagine, neutrinos, affecting the binary code of our reality all day, every day by the gajillions. From every direction, I ain't making none of that up. Just like electron orbitals are no accidents, no random thing that's just happening and swirling in an atom. It definitely has a form and a function. So too are the stars to the earth. Leg bone's connected to the knee bone. Anyway, these fellas left their bodies to come down to Earth and have bodies on Earth so they could mate with women. Because of course, a planet is not compatible in this form. How could angels abandon their first estate and come down to the Earth? Well, it's kind of like, you put a VR headset on and it gets stuck. How about that? If you can't imagine Johnny Depp uploading his consciousness in that movie, Transcendent. Uploading a human consciousness to a computer, just put the VR goggles on and imagine it that way. They abandoned their first estate. And to this day, these are soulless, immortal celestial bodies, because these fellas got bound in chains and thrown into hell when God flooded the earth in the days of Noah. Their offspring, the demigods, all drowned in the flood, but did not get bound in chains. These are the demons. That's why they're very concerned with not going back into the abyss, the abyssal zones where the earth cracked open, the fountains of the deep in the days of Noah. They go all the way down into hell. The demons got to crawl all the way up from there to get back out. What did Alex Jones say? They're coming out of the oceans? So to summarize, in the days of Noah, angels, and I mean these fellas right here specifically, quit their bodies to come to earth and mate with women and have offspring. That is not allowed. Now what about Satan and 1/3 of the angels of heaven? Was that them? No. Satan and his 1/3 of the stars of heaven have never been to hell. They're still in heaven. Satan roams around like a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour on the earth, and then he takes those VR goggles off and accuses the brethren day and night before God. I will say clearly, all the prophecies about Satan compare him to the angels who abandoned their first estate in the days of Noah. And this is why there is confusion that Satan's never been to hell? What? No, these are the fellas that are in hell. Satan and his angels haven't been thrown down to the earth yet. These fellas abandoned their celestial bodies to come to earth. Satan and 1/3 of the angels of heaven are going to get thrown down, losing their morning stars, their glorified celestial bodies forever. And that's what it means, the guest at the wedding supper without a wedding garment on. How camest thou in here, friend, having not on a wedding garment? Will be said to Satan after Armageddon, the marriage supper of the Lamb, where he will be bound in those same everlasting chains and cast into hell for the first time after Armageddon. Some of these fellas get loosed just before Armageddon. Satan will also be let loose out of hell after the millennial reign of Christ for a short season to deceive the nations once more to come down for Armageddon Part 2, like these fellas will deceive the nations to come down for Armageddon Part 1. One story on repeat, that's why history repeats. Told you all about the wheel within a wheel, the repeating of history, the repeating of one pattern in everything you can name, as a matter of fact. It's that binary code, it's that spring, summer, fall, and winter. It's that particle oscillation, it's that atomic orbital. It's that solar system, it's that galaxy. Toroids all the way down. To recap, here are the aliens. They are angels. Yes, they are immortal. Yeah, they're super, super duper advanced. Conscious entities with responsibilities and jobs according to the earth. Whereas these are soulless, unconscious, immortal celestial bodies. Not that one, that's where we are. Still conscious right there. One of their offspring survived the flood, though the bloodline was real diluted. Ham's wife. So that after the flood it gets real interesting. With the Greeks claiming to be descended from the gods. They were. But that's another lecture. As the days of Noah were, so shall it be in those days when the Son of Man shall begin to appear.
Woo! Mic drop. Now, I don't completely agree with everything that he says, but it's a very interesting take at the subject matter at hand. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below.
Y'all, look at this damn turkey meat. I ain't never seen ground turkey meat like this. I use ground turkey meat to make tacos. I don't like beef. Beef gives me terrible heartburn. So we use turkey meat. But this shit ain't meat. The meat ain't eating right. Look at this. Look how it looks, y'all. Look.
Oh, no, it look like paste.
This is ground turkey? We're not eating this shit.
It looks like plastic.
Like, what the fuck is that? Man, I'm so mad. This destroyed our tacos. It do look gross. Give me that again.
It's like plastic.
Yeah, what the fuck is this? Y'all, look at the fucking meat, bruh. This was by, that's nasty look. Nature's Promise, y'all. What the fuck? I'm not eating that shit. Throw it away.
Nah, they look like that Bill Gates stuff.
Yo, man, this thing right here gonna mess y'all head up, bro. All since I heard this, my head been jacked up, man. So we gonna all sharing the feeling, man. This guy, it's a recording. He finna tell y'all how this lady went from this to this. And these pictures was taken at the same day, less than 24 hours apart.
So she was one of the first black women to be a cop. And all through the hood, man, we just, everybody knew her growing up. And we just never thought that, she would decide to, go that route. Real smart girl, I'm talking about real smart, real intelligent. always can figure stuff out. Whatever you know came out of which she solved it, helped you with it. She knew how to work on cars. She knew how to, you know, do little stuff around the house. She knew how to cook, clean, like just knew everything. But now all her women's in her family, they was all, you know, like maids, you know, they work around the houses of rich white people and stuff like that. But now she said she didn't want to go that route. She wanted to be a cop. She wanted to have some power. She wanted to stand for something. And I, you know, not that, you know, not that being a maid or something. It's just, you know, you don't stand for nothing, but just in her mind, you know, you young, you want to make a change. You want to be, you know, so that's the way she felt. So she went out there and got that job, and it was good for her, you know, like, she even got some little respect around the office. Now, I heard she had to bust a couple of them good old boys' heads, but eventually they learned to respect her. But now one night, she was out in a car with her partner. Now all of a sudden, they get a call. Now her partner, he responded to it, you know, he driving, she in the passenger seat. So down they get there, it's an old warehouse. An old warehouse abandoned. And supposedly it's some screams or something like that coming up out the warehouse. So they get there and they stand around and, you know, they look around. And her partner ain't really want to go in. But this lady here, she wasn't scared of nothing. I guess growing up in the ghetto just, you know, make it a little tougher than the average. But this is sad ending to this story. And this is what she looked like after they found her this night.
Part 2 coming out. That's crazy though.
So what happened on that night? Her and her partner went out to that call. Now when they got there, he ain't want to go in, but you know she wasn't scared of nothing, like I say. So it's like an abandoned place or whatever. So they started making their way in. Now while they making their way in, you know, he steady telling her, no, you know, I got a bad feeling about this one. Let's wait for backup and all that. But, you know, they still hearing the screams. So they hearing somebody hollering and screaming like a female. So, you know, she seen things happen to females, you know, growing up in the streets, man. She done seen women who work for them pimps and stuff. And she done seen what they done went through. So she figured it's probably some man, you know, taking, you know, hurting a woman. So she, you know, for sure trying to get up in there and, you know, help. Now, as they making their way down the little entryway or whatever, they trying to figure out which way it's coming from. So she say, you know, so she's saying, you know, we should stay together. But her partner saying, oh no, if we really want to find it, we probably should split up. And she go upstairs. Now, when she go upstairs, she feel like she really on the right track to the screaming. So she kind of trying to call for him, but not call for him so loud that, like, you know, it would give away. And so it's, you know, you want to try to have a drop on a criminal or whatever in a case like this. So when she get on to the door where she thinks she hear the screaming coming from, she can see out the window down to the front of the place, and she see her partner at the car, and he jumping in the car, started up and take off. Now at this point, you know, what's she gonna do now? So she kicked the door in, and now this is what's said. You know, and I know people saying the story, you know, all I can get y'all is what I got. So whatever she saw in that room messed her up. It scared her so bad that this is how she turned up that same, you know, when they found her later on that night. This is what it is. Something scared her so bad that her hair turned gray. She got wrinkles all up in her face. It's like it aged her. It's like it put 50, 60 years on her. So, you know, this is a phenomenon that happened. I don't know what it's called, but it's a name for it. But if you see something that scared you so bad, like you say it scared you to death, that's a real thing, man. So it ain't killer, but it about almost did, man. And she just was never really right, man. You know, that she could get bits and pieces of the story, but she never could tell, you know, fully what she saw that night. And it wasn't until hours later when they found.
Man, that was deep. What do you think she saw that did that to her all in one day? It's two different people right there. The first one to the second one, man. Something really, really wicked happened. She's seen some really wicked stuff, or seen a wicked entity or being. Let me know what you think she saw down below in the comment section. And y'all, with that said, that's the end of the video. Hope you have a good night or a good day. It's your boy DONCOOZIE. I'm out. I'll catch you in the next video.